It affects your melatonin production, which is your sleep hormone. And although you might go to sleep, you might wake up and have quite a restless sleep. So really working on encouraging that melatonin production. And again, another thing is screen time. If you're looking at your screen until you go to bed and sat in bed looking at it, even a Kindle, that again affects your melatonin production. So I put my phone or any other digital equipment down at least an hour before bed, and I really start to wind down. Another thing I do is I always used to read books, but they'd always be factual. They'd be about nutrition and mindset, which I still do and I love learning. But I've gotten into reading fiction books as well, light fiction, and it really takes you off somewhere else. And I just find it super relaxing. Just to even half an hour, 20 minutes reading a few pages of a book really helps you to unwind, and I can feel my eyes start drooping when I get further into the book and really start, using my imagination, and it has such a calming effect. Other things are magnesium. Magnesium helps with sleep. We're all deficient in magnesium if we're not supplementing. So getting a really good supplement there. I use Magnesium Calm, which is I put it in a warm drink. And also a glycine in that as well. And that really helps with sleep also. Exercise helps with sleep if it's done earlier on in the day. If it's done later in the day, it can really ramp up your cortisol and take a while for you to wind down. So exercising in the morning has shown that it improves sleep later on, in the day / evening. So that's it, I think, with sleep. I could go on and on with sleep, and I've done another 2 videos on that. So if you want to know more about sleep, have a look at those. The next one is focusing on strength training. Now, I'm from, grew up in the 80s, and it was all cardio, little pink weights, leg warmers, the leotard, Jane Fonda type exercises. And that's not really doing much for us at all physically. It's not really building muscle. We might be losing weight, but it could be, if we're in a calorie deficit as well, it could be muscle as well. So we're actually only becoming a smaller version of ourselves. We're not improving the shape, and that's just the physical aspect of it, the how you look. Then the next is, it has such a great impact on your hormones. And it also, as you go into perimenopause, you can become more insulin resistant, which is a precursor for type 2 diabetes. But the more muscle we have, the more glucose it sucks up from the blood and gets stored as glycogen. Otherwise, it's floating around in the blood. Our glucose goes through the roof, and we get a insulin response, but it can get worn out, and that creates insulin resistance. Plus, it's not very healthy to have lots of sugar floating about in your blood as well, and leads to crashes and etc., which goes on to the next point of focusing on your protein intake. So many women that I've coached are not eating half the protein that they should be. It's absolutely detrimental for your health. And as we go into perimenopause / menopause, our uptake of it is decreased. We just don't soak up as much protein as we used to. So I say each meal should be at least 30 grams of protein. And I would say about 1 gram of protein per gram of body weight, or about at least 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. And if you're a larger lady and you're wanting to decrease your size, you could do 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of your desired body weight. One caveat, as long as it's realistic. We all need to be a good weight to keep a good metabolism going, and that's something that muscle will do as well. It will increase your metabolism, and you might even go up in the scale, but that just means you're increasing your muscle. 5 pounds of fat is like this size, whereas 5 pounds of muscle is like this size. It's really compact, and it just makes you look amazing. Plus, being able to lift heavy weights and you get stronger and stronger, it makes you feel badass, ladies. It is amazing. And I just strength train and I walk. So another thing is to get your steps in. Make them realistic. If you're only doing like 4,000 steps a day at the minute, don't jump up to 10. Increase it by 2,000 steps a day and see how you go, and then increase it up again. I'd say a minimum of 8,000 steps a day. And what I do is I work it out over the week and see what my average is, because some days you might be less, sometimes you may be way over, and as long as it balances out for me between about 10 and 12,000 steps a day, that's absolutely fine. You can check it on your health app on your iPhone, or your watch, or anything like that, or even a pedometer, which should be really good. Now, all that talk of exercise leads me on to the next point, which is restorative practices. And you really need to work in as much as you work out. I found this so beneficial for me. I used to train 6 days a week. It used to be really intense. I didn't really see any body improvements. I was tired and niggly all the time, and it was just too much. So what I do now is 4 days of strength training and 3 days of restorative yoga. And restorative yoga is like yin yoga. It's very gentle, long, easy holds, yoga nidra, which is you're just lying there and listening to meditation, which is a body scan, which is absolutely gorgeous. And restorative yoga, again, is lying in restorative poses and really working on that nervous system, telling your body that it's safe. And it's like feeding your body. It's like filling up the battery again, because exercise is amazing, but it does take from you, and it is a stressor. It's a good stressor, but we need to increase that battery, fill it up again, and then we can go in stronger and harder next time. And you'll probably see that you might even lose some bloating, like your belly will decrease in size, and you'll just have that energy to steady throughout the day rather than up and down and up and down and up and down. So that is a biggie. And it can be other things like walking in nature, meditation's a big one, all sorts of massage, a hot bath with Epsom salts, just some quiet time reading a lovely book. If you've got time to scroll on your phone, you've got time for restorative practices. And I know that sounds harsh, but scrolling on your phone isn't restorative. It's actually a stressor. It does increase our cortisol levels. So just prioritizing some restorative time, and you will start to feel the benefits, and you'll start to crave it as well. I've been doing a meditation sort of challenge for myself, and I'm doing 30 days of meditation every day, and it can be as little as 5 minutes, or I can do, you know, if I've got the time, like a 45-minute yoga nidra as well, because that is meditation too. And I've got to 12 days now, and this morning I got up early as I normally do, and that's when I do it. But I got to the gym and I thought, I don't feel right, something's off. And then I realised I hadn't done my 10 minutes of meditation. And that's how quickly we can get into a habit. And so when I came back, I meditated and I did feel much better. But it's literally shown that it's formed a physical neural pathway in my brain, and it does form a physical pathway, and that can work for positive actions and negative actions too. So that shows how quickly that can develop. And I really think this is going to be a really strong non-negotiable habit for me in the morning, as long as I'm not too rigid with how much time it takes. So minimum of 5 minutes. Everybody's got 5 minutes for meditation in the morning. And at the moment I'm doing a guided meditation, but I might just go on to do my own, focus on the breath. We'll just see how it goes. So the next one is cyclical living. Now, with my female clients who have regular cycles, we really lean into cyclical living. And what that is working with your hormonal changes. So on average, we say a woman has a cycle of 29.5 days, which interestingly is the same as a lunar cycle. And we work with that too. I'll speak about that in a minute. But every week our hormones change in ratio. So we're hormonally different at 4 different stages in a month, compared to a man's cycle, which is every 24 hours. So it's very, very different. They're very linear with their hormones, whereas ours, as you know, are up and down, and feels like they're all over the place sometimes. But what happens if your hormones are all over the place? There's a couple of different ways we can do it. The first way is we can work with the moon cycle. So the moon cycle works in the same way as a female cycle. And so the new moon is your bleed week. And then we go on to the waxing moon, so that's increasing estrogen and you're getting stronger. Then it leads down to the full moon, which is ovulation, and then leads on to the waning moon, which is your luteal phase. So that's going more inwards, more restorative practices, and we can work with that. The next way is if you're on any kind of hormone replacement therapy, you'll know that you will take estrogen all the way through, but normally 2 weeks out of that month you will take progesterone as well. So when you're just on estrogen, we work on the stronger hitting things, a bit more strength training, more energy. And then when we start on the progesterone as well, then we start doing more restorative practices, working inwards, more yin yoga, a bit more quiet time on our own if we can. And that's how it works as well. So I really do find I do it, and it's not a rigid practice. So if you are feeling strong and you're in the luteal phase, maybe train a bit harder and see how you feel afterwards. But it's a really good guide, and I really think it's helped me have a more normal cycle. So I'm still cycling and I'm 50, so I think there really is something to that, and it really does work for my clients as well. But if you'd like to know more of that, I'm actually going to be doing a live Zoom very soon towards the end of the month, really deep diving into cyclical living for women at any stage of life. The next one is setting boundaries. Now, I don't know about you, but I've always been a yes person. I never liked upsetting people. I didn't like letting people down. But it's important to say no. If it's something that you really don't want to do and somebody's pushing you to do it, if it's if you feel like it's not right for you, it's really good getting out of your comfort zones. But we're talking about, we're all going out for drinks, and we're going to be staying out till what's the time and blah de blah. If you think that isn't going to work for me at the minute, be okay with saying no. And it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And also I find, as a woman going through perimenopause, I've actually found a superpower, which is not giving a crap about what people think of me anymore. Like, my daughter's 24 and, she'll say, Mum, why did you say that? I'm never rude, but she really cares about what people think still. She's only young and she's still, learning, but I do say what I think now, and it's really empowering. I dress how I want to dress. I do my makeup how I want to do my makeup. I wear makeup to the gym. So what? It makes me feel good. Stop giving a crap about what people think of you, and you'll start actually to feel a lot better about yourself. The next one is, and we're nearly at the end of the list now, HRT. So I did lots of research into HRT because I am really a natural girl. I do love natural supplements and I just like that lifestyle, but I was really suffering with some elements, as in particular sleep and energy and things like that. And HRT isn't a miracle changer, but it just gives you a bit more energy to be able to focus on all these other things that I've been talking about. And there was a scare. It was in 2002. It was the Women's Health Initiative. And I remember my mum not going on HRT because of this. And they did a study on HRT, which is very different to what it is now. But it was very flawed because the study wasn't on women in perimenopause. It was on women that were 10 years out of their menopause. So they got to that day where the periods have stopped for a whole year. That's actual menopause. It's one day. And it was 10 years on from that. So we're talking about probably women in their late 60s, 70s, taking HRT for the first time. A lot of them weren't healthy. A lot of them pulled out, and it was Premarin as well, which is horse urine, that was used, which is not used anymore. So it is very, very different. But do your research, go to your doctor and speak about it and see how you'll feel. Some women can't take it because they have a strong history of breast cancer in the family, which is estrogen fed. There's all different kinds, but I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you what to do or really give you too much advice on it. But I would say do some really good research, and there's lots of doctors online too that can really help you understand it a bit more. And then last year I got tested for testosterone as well, because I'm really interested to see where I was, because we do produce a lot of testosterone, and mine was actually low, so I'm on a very, very low dose of testosterone as well, and I found that really beneficial. I feel like I've got a bit more energy. It's very subtle, and a bit stronger in the gym. Libido is improved because that was tanking quite a lot. So yeah, and thankfully I had a really good doctor, really lucky, a local doctor that specialises in menopause for women, so I was super lucky with that. The next one, you might not like me for this, but is alcohol. I'm sorry, it is a toxin, and I personally don't drink very much at all. I never have, to be honest, but I'll have maybe one drink on a Saturday, and sometimes I won't have a drink at all. It's metabolized completely differently to any other macronutrient. It's its own macronutrient. When we have alcohol, everything has to wait in our bodies to be digested in a emergency to get the alcohol out of your system. It's empty calories. It creates it can create hot flashes as well, so if you're suffering from those, consider cutting out alcohol for 30 days and see how you feel. There's so many things that alcohol does. I could go on and on and on about it. Some people take it because they say it helps them get to sleep, but it actually doesn't. You don't have a great sleep. You don't go into REM sleep. And as we said, sleep is the basis of your health pyramid. It is the foundation. So yeah, if you can, cut it out completely. If the odd little drink here and there, one drink maybe, that's fine, but just see how you feel after that. And yeah, it's a biggie, I'm afraid. So for women of all ages, but we are particularly sensitive to it. The next thing is supplements. So a really great supplement is creatine. Creatine is the most studied supplement and the safest supplement on the planet. With strength training, it's excellent for improving strength, increasing muscle, which is not going to get you bulky. It improves your skin, brain health, bone health. The list goes on. A lot of women stay away from it because the scale weight goes up a bit, but it's not fat. It's actually intracellular. So it's fluid in the muscle. It's water in the muscle, which actually improves your body composition. And then because you're stronger, you're creating more muscle as well. That everybody should be on creatine over a certain age, and especially if you are a vegetarian or vegan, maybe even more than the 5 grams a day. So that's the first one. The next one I really love is collagen. Collagen starts to decrease from around your mid-30s, mainly, maybe earlier than that. And collagen, we're made up of collagen, we're made up of protein. It improves your skin, your hair, your ligaments, your nails. Collagen is essential in my opinion, and I really like Ancient and Brave. I think it's called True Collagen. It's a bovine collagen, but you can also get a marine collagen as well if you don't eat meat. So I'd really look into that. The next one is omega-3s, healthy fats. essential for the brain, essential for every function of the body. Unless you're eating lots of fatty fish in the week, I'd say we all need omega-3s in our diet. So pick a really good supplement there. Vitamin D, of course, and living in the UK, we don't really get much vitamin D. So I would focus, I like the spray vitamin D with K2, and that helps it absorb properly. I take 2 squirts of it, so I think it's 8,000 IUs I take a day, every day, unless it's really hot and sunny, or my holiday maybe once a year and it's really sunny. I probably don't need it then. Magnesium, as I mentioned, great for sleep, every function in the body. We're all short of magnesium, so take a really good magnesium supplement. Like I said, I take magnesium calm before bed, and that really helps to calm and helps the muscles to relax. And Epsom salts as well. Epsom salts baths are really good for absorbing magnesium too. And I just ordered a magnesium balm to put on my feet before bed. I think it's Fierce Nature, and I'm really excited to try that because it looks gorgeous. Put that on, some warm socks. Oh, chef's kiss. And eating, an anti-inflammatory diet too. So just looking at the reactions you have for food. For me, I can have a reaction if I have too much dairy, if I have too much gluten. Some of us are completely gluten intolerant. Just eating whole foods full of antioxidants, rich in nutrients, one ingredient foods. So as much cooking at home as possible. As I said, protein based, lots of fiber rich vegetables, again, that are fantastic for every age, but especially for us to get rid of toxins. Healthy fats, plenty of healthy fats to help all of your bodily functions, and some starchy carbs for energy too. And working in a way, if you need to lose some pounds, maybe working with a coach rather than guessing what you need to do, and they can lead you in the right way. I can lead you in the right way, or if it's not me, somebody else that's right for you. The last thing that this is like a random one, but I found real benefit to this too, is I recently purchased a infrared sauna blanket, which is amazing. It's lined with crystals. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I use that about 3 times a week for around 45 minutes to an hour. Maybe listen to some yoga nidra in it. And then I jump in a cold shower for 2 minutes. That's all. You don't need to be in the cold for too long, because all the receptors are close to the surface of your skin. And that really helps with sleep as well. It helps me to restore. It helps with my muscles. It helps with your stress response. It works on your nervous system. It is amazing. So they're all my tips. I know there's a lot. You can pick and choose. Maybe just do one and do that for maybe a couple of weeks and see how that sits with you. Then maybe try another one, but don't do everything at once because it is such a lot. But again, I've really found that this has helped me to thrive through perimenopause. And the mindset to me is, we're actually really lucky to be aging, and menopause has been seen as such a negative thing. It's amazing that it's everywhere, everybody's talking about it, but it seems to a lot of people that it's all doom and gloom, and it is not. It's a different season of your life, and we need to lean into that. In the ancient times, we would have been revered, we would have been absolutely cherished as the wise women of the tribe. And it does feel like we're evolving. I feel like I'm evolving. It's actually making me a bit emotional. I feel like we're evolving, and I feel like I'm downloading more wisdom. I'm more assured in who I am. So don't make yourself feel small, or, I mean, I am small, I'm 4'11", but you know, in I'm not quite sure how to put it, but we feel like we need to shrink away. We're not desirable anymore. We're not attractive anymore. We're not youthful. Well, yes, we bloody are. And start believing that. The more you believe that, the more that you will give back to yourself, because you feel like you're worth it. And learning to love yourself again is absolutely massive. So if you've got any more tips, I'd love to hear them. Let me know if you found this useful. Let me know if you try anything and you found some real benefits. I promise you, you will. You just need to be consistent and not go, you know, head first into everything. Just take it easy and make small changes and create those habits and those neural pathways in your brain, like I've been doing with meditation. So lots of love. I'm in the trenches with you. And if you need any help, do reach out. I'm more than happy to help. I know how it feels. So lots of love, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.